You've selected the presentation for Topic 5, Quality Control, which is a part of the subject Building Industry Contracts. Just to quickly summarise the course, any questions or assistance during the term, refer to the Moodle page. You can email me directly. You can put a question or a discussion up on the Moodle Q&A or on the student forum as well. I'll be posting news and additional material up on that Moodle page throughout the term. So stay in contact with the Moodle and keep up to date with it. Be clear about the assignment submissions, when they're required, and what's required in the assessments as well. Also be clear that this presentation is only a summary of the topic and is not intended to be a substitute for the study guide and the reading materials in the course. This topic aims to explain the role of quality control and really summarise in respect to managing the contract and contract documents, general and special conditions associated with each contract. So we're not really looking at specifics, but looking to how to identify and apply basic quality control procedures and understanding the application of quality control procedures and requirements in a contract. The image I've shown here is it's a Sir Samuel Griffith building at Griffith University. It's a 6-star building, and what makes it unique is the photovoltaic cells and the hydrogen fuel cells, which will be the first of its type in Australia. So we're looking at a very specific quality and performance requirement, and so the whole delivery process, not just specification, but also the contract administration and the contract compliance will be higher and will be much more efficiency than a standard commercial building delivery project. Some real advantages is in incorporating quality assurance and administration as a contractor or as a small business, and the 4 dot points I've highlighted here make it very clear to other people and to yourselves. You have a more efficient operation. You have an enhanced company image, and in many cases that's still one of the evaluation criteria when you're looking for work with several government groups, state and federal. There's increased client satisfaction quite often because of that feedback and the transfer of information in the QA system. And there's real status and recognition of QA certification in specific areas, industries, as well as within industry groups. So in construction and delivery, there's quality aspects and management that needs to be applied in several areas of the building delivery process, right from the design, the construction on the ability and method, the general finished appearance, getting those cost limits, getting the costs under control initially, knowing what it is, bedding it down, the process of managing cost control throughout the project, and the construction, the duration of time, managing that particular time issues with a number of different activities running at once, and changes to that activity program. So if we just briefly look at the contract administration and documentation process, there's a number of areas already which we can start looking at and making templates and really defining how it is that we're going to manage these. And as a result, it makes the whole process of reporting, communicating, and creating a standard, a quality standard, much easier. In most contracting companies, I've either worked with the company that have had these particular documentation as standard, or I've developed my own. Contract review and reporting process is extremely important, so others and yourselves can look back and on how you're measuring and how you're performing overall. things like with time, the original completion date versus forecast completion date, whether there's been any extensions or interruptions in that program, the cost impact of changes, claims, and cost impacts also of time changes on the project, and has that any change on the fixed price contracts or methods of recovery, and also a financial, a realistic assessment of variations, rise and fall, must be made substantial to the client. That forecasting of results is always important, knowing where the project is going, any time delays with costs and how that recovery is likely to be considered, variation costs in future, and any sub-trade costs, savings, and contingencies where they're at and on the project. As well as costs, the construction program, determining where the different activities of work are being carried out, the method of operation and duration. This is a very important tool, and can be as simple as a bar chart, or as shown as a critical path network as well, with all the activities, the earliest start, the finishes, the earliest finish date, and so forth. And again, any changes that are introduced into the construction, how that's being incorporated and shown and demonstrated in the construction program, how it's going to be managed. It's inevitable that throughout the progress of the works that there's going to be variations, regardless of how well the working drawings, specification, bills of quantities and rates have been put together. So variations are important to be clearly documented, quantified, and communicated to all parties. So it's clearly understood where the overall costing's likely to be, finish up, where it was compared to the original intention of the estimate, and also the tender result. Managing defective work is a very important part of getting what it is that you paid for, in the sense that the work achieves the quality standard and the performance standard that was originally asked for. So the defects list, the defects period, the issue associated with maintaining good control measures and reporting measures, inspection measures on defects, and also, if necessary, using the defects list as a tool to potentially withhold monies, might have to be. There's risks that can arise during the project through several different avenues, and one of the main reasons that quality management systems are so good is that they actually assist in reducing the exposure to risk. The process of defining and invoking insurance, quality assurance, really assures the buyer that the person delivering the building project, or the manufacturer, that they have processes in place that can control the risk and the standard being delivered. We've come to the end now of the presentation for quality control, and it's a good opportunity now to go back and read through the study guide, refer to the subject text, and also work through the workbook activities. If you have any questions, you can post them to the Moodle group or email me directly.